Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before we begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you all. All right, look at this article on Unilad. It says, people terrified as Trump signs new executive order on homelessness that could have a devastating impact. You see, now this cruel Lord, Donald Trump, this devil, all right, Nero in the reincarnation, he's after the homeless now, you see? And we know a lot of the homeless is who? Jake, us Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? And he's already coming down on our people through those migrant raids, okay? And of course, he ain't gonna stop there, man. He's gonna come after those of us who are less fortunate. You see? That's how this devil is, man. Everything is getting set up for Jacob's trouble, man. You know, let's go ahead and get into this article. It says President Donald Trump has signed a new executive order that aims to crack down on homelessness in the USA. You see, like being homeless, right? Like you chose to do that. Like, yeah, you know, it's a crime now. You can't be homeless. How dare you not work 7 jobs to live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 other dudes, you know, or 3 other women, roommates, you know, whatever. Cause that's damn near what you gotta do nowadays, man. This shit is getting tight, man. You know, these bills is tight. Everything is getting tight, man. The jobs, they lowering wages. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it says, and it's left social media users extremely concerned. On Thursday, July 24th, which I believe that's today, ain't it? Yesterday. On Thursday, yeah, that is, that's right, that was yesterday. On Thursday, July 24th, Trump signed an order seeking the reversal of federal or state judicial precedents and the termination of consent decrees in order to make it easier for cities to remove, notice that word remove, right? Like your trash for being homeless. You know, a lot of people, they go homeless because they got 2-3 jobs and they might lose 1 job, okay? But then they can't make rent because they live from paycheck to paycheck. And so you end up going homeless. So now Donald Trump is looking at you like, you know, with them evil eyes now. Is he? Hey, this thing he's putting a squeeze. Hey, is it a coincidence that he's doing this now after cutting all those benefits out? Think about that. Cut off all them benefits, and he's continuing to cut more. All right, and y'all know the past couple videos I was talking about how you Eves, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian women, how y'all gonna catch it very bad soon, and looks like it just got a hell of a lot worse, man, for y'all. For you proud-ass Eves, it's getting even worse every day. A new video, I'm making a new video every day talking about how y'all gonna have to get your asses in order. And look, now we have another video because as you can see, all right, now you can't live off the government, so now you got to get a job, right? But now it's not enough to get a job. Now if you end up homeless, all right, old Donald Trump is going to come scoop you up and throw you in a padded room, man. You see? You see, it's going to be, because the scriptures are clear, man, that it's going to be 7 women to 1 man. So what has to happen for these Eves to go from, you know, top of the pedestal to bottom of the barrel real quick and humble way the fuck down? What's going to cause that? All right, this devil, Donald Trump, man. He's going to cut off all these benefits, man. The government is broke. They can't afford y'all women anymore. And then on top of that, if you end up homeless because of, you know, an inability to get a job, whatever, living a paycheck to paycheck, and then something happens, now you're fucked. Now you're out there on the street, and now Donald Trump's looking at you like you slapped his mama, getting ready to throw you in a concentration camp, just like the migrants, bro. And you can't make this shit up, man. All right, who knows what other measures they're going to cause that's going to make you women start respecting men again? Is he? Who knows? All right, but we know that the scriptures say it's going to happen, man. All right, and this is gonna be one part of it, bro. It says, let's keep it going. It says, the order calls for Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek, in appropriate cases, the reversal of federal or state judicial precedents and the termination of consent decrees that impede the United States policy of encouraging civil commitment of individuals with mental illness who pose risk to themselves or public or are living on the streets and cannot care for themselves in appropriate facilities for appropriate periods of time. So that's bullshit lawyer speak, or mumbo jumbo speak for, okay, if you homeless, we're gonna put you in the same category as someone who's mentally ill, who's a danger to the public and to yourself. So what does that mean? You know them places they send you to when you acting crazy or you try to shoot yourself or whatever? I believe it's like a padded room or something. They tie you up, they put a needle in you, and, that's just from what I've seen in the movies. But, it can't be good, man. I'm kind of, having a little fun with it, but really, I mean, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, just like these migrant detention centers, we don't know what goes on there to the fullest extent. We do know the conditions are bad. All right, this is just another concentration camp if you know how to read between the lines, man. So if you don't want to be a part of this system, they basically setting it up so that you better want to be a part of this system. Because if you're not a part of this system, now you're going to be in a padded room catching more hell than you would be just living out on the street, begging for money or eating out of trash cans. Now they're going to put the squeeze on the poorest of the poor, man. You see? And you women are not exempt from this. So you women going to have to get like 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, or you can learn how to submit to a man. You see? It's getting set up for Jacob's trouble, and it's also getting set up for Isaiah 4:1. 7 women to 1 man. And it's also getting set up for that MOTB, because what's going to happen is, okay, they need the proper motivation for people to get this CHIP. And a great piece of motivation is, hey, if you can't afford to live in a house because you don't have your chip, all right, we're gonna grab you up and throw you in a padded room because you're just a crazy person. You're a danger to the whole world because you don't want to get a chip, because you don't want to get a job or whatever. You see? And we know a lot of these homeless people can't get jobs for whatever reason. They might have mental health issues. They might have a brain injury. They might have a felony record or whatever. All right, is Donald Trump going to help them get a job? Hell no. He's just going to act like you crazy and throw you in a fucking padded room. We got to be at the end, man. This is it. The Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is setting everything up for that final temptation, that final test, man. And all these different prophecies are now within reach, man. Isaiah 4:1, Jacob's trouble, the MOTB mandation. We could see it more clear every day. Every day that this happens is more clear, man. All right? It says, yeah, and for appropriate periods of time. So there's no telling how long you're going to be in there. All right? They might have you on some, who knows, man. They might have you on some type of disciplinary thing where they force you to, I don't even know, man. But we know how this devil rolls, man. So they might have you on certain medications. They might have you doing slave labor in there. Oh, this is how you're going to prepare for the workforce. They're going to have you breaking your back. Who knows, man? Who knows? Ultimately, just keeping the faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai and Lord's will. The Lord preserve us from this madness, from this madman, Mr. Trump. Okay? And continues. It further adds, shifting homeless individuals into long-term institutional settings for humane treatment through the appropriate use of civil commitment will restore public order. Surrendering our cities and citizens to disorder and fear is neither compassionate to the homeless nor other citizens, right? And of course you can have a few bad apples where homeless might, break your car window or whatever. Okay, but of course this isn't about that. This is all about control. All right, this is all about moving closer to that NWO, man. All right, because you're gonna have everyday regular citizens, might have had a job for 20 years, might be in a prestigious field, but you make one or two bad decisions, you know your bank account's looking kind of low, you can't make rent. Now you could get thrown into a jail cell for the quote unquote mentally ill. You see, did he try to lower the rent? All right, that's the real motherfucking problem. You got rent sky high. You see? So of course, this is all about the NWO, man. This is all about prophecy, man. Prophecy must be fulfilled, and they're putting the squeeze on people, and they're setting it up for that. When they mandate this MOTB, man, all right, it's gonna be, because right now people will think, oh, well, they could just, they won't mind being homeless. I'll be homeless. But now you can't be homeless. Now you're going to get grabbed up and thrown into a padded room, and who knows what type of measures they'll do. All he got to do is sign another bill, and they can do whatever, man. This shit is getting ugly out here with this man, man. This man is making moves like a dictator, you see? Just like Emperor Nero, man. All right? But it says, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told USA Today that Trump is delivering on his commitment to make America safe again and end homelessness across America by removing vagrant criminals from our streets and redirecting resources toward substance abuse programs. The Trump administration will ensure that Americans feel safe in their own communities and that individuals suffering from addiction or mental health struggles are able to get the help they need. Well, if they needed that help, why didn't they go looking for it? Maybe it ain't what it's cracked up to be. You see, just like when you got knee pain or back pain, you go to the doctor, what does he tell you? Oh, take a Tylenol and forget about it. You see, they're not going to fix the root cause of anything here in America, because this place is not our rest, Yasharala. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. This place is a house built on quicksand, man. You know what? And good riddance, man. This place is going down the drains every day as we speak. It's going more and more down the drains, man. Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is taking this place down, man. All right? And ultimately, that Third World War is going to finish this place off with that thermonuclear destruction that's prophesied in the scriptures, man. All right? All throughout the scriptures. Malachi 4:1. Various others. That's the one that comes to mind. Malachi 4:1. Let's get that real quick. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. See? And all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly will be stubble, man. You Edomites over here, man. You Edomites over here in America, you're going to be ashes on that day, man. Ashes, Let's go into Daniel's 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up. What's that time? That's the time of Jacob's trouble, when all hell's breaking loose. All right. It says, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was, since there was a nation, even to the same time. So we know it's going to get ugly out here, man. With all these measures Trump is setting up, while taking benefits away, putting a squeeze on the citizens, on the people. Okay, and then he's putting a squeeze on them and giving them harsh punishments for, not being able to live up to Trump's standard of slavery, you see? And, that's a recipe for all hell breaking loose, for the people to finally wake up out of their sleep and stand up. But you know what? They're going to stand up, but they're going to lose, man. All right? 2/3 of our people, the wicked of our people, they're going to lose. They're going to stand up against Esau when they say enough is enough. And they might catch a few Edomites. They might bust Edomites' ass a little here and there. But at the end of the day, they're going to lose, man. Because they don't have the hedge of protection from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, that's the reason we're in captivity right now. We went against the Lord. And so the Lord sent Esau against us, man. You know, in this channel, I often talk about the wickedness of Esau. But don't get it twisted, man. Esau, Edom, is not a god, man. He's not. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai controls all things, including Esau, man. So ultimately, there is no God but Yahweh. All right? So we're getting fucked up by Esau, yeah. Because we pissed off our Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See? We have a chance to come back to the Father through Yahweh Shai, through this truth. Okay? And now is the time to repent, man, because, you know, as you can see, all right, this is the end. All right? It's going to come a time when a video is not going to go out. You're going to see Jacob's trouble at your front door, in your neighborhood, at your workplace. It's going to be the famine of the word. There's not going to be videos going out. You see? And that's when that test starts, man, because that MOTB will be mandated during Jacob's trouble, man. It says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one of them that shall be found written in the book. Right? Everyone that shall be found written in the book will be delivered at that time, in the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Yeah, all hell breaking loose. But during that time, that's when the elect is going to get delivered, man. Lord's will I be of the elect. You know, us are the hopeful elect. We hope and pray we are of the elect. Hope and pray that we count it worthy to escape these perils, man. All right? This is Sirach 13 and verse 18. It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? You see? And this perfectly describes this society, man. All right? It's just the rich and the poor, and they just devouring the poor, you know, to the point where they're homeless. And then even when they're homeless, you know, and it's, again, this is our people. All right, most of our people, most of the low-income people in this country are Jake. Okay, so it's really a hatred against Jake, not so much people of low monetary value. But Esau, Edom, is a damn devil, so I wouldn't put it past them. You know, they don't care about their own Edomites that are living in trailers, eating out of trash cans, whatever. Not living in a trailer, because then that would be your home, but you know what I mean. People in a low income bracket, right? So as it continues, it says, as the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor, right? And here you are homeless, and instead of giving you a helping hand, or God forbid I say it, a handout, what's wrong with a handout, man? You rich people all got handouts. You were born into a wealthy family. You were born in the right circumstances. That's a handout. If you rich people hate handouts so much, why don't you go be homeless, get rid of all your assets and connections, and build yourself back up from nothing? Oh, wait, some guy already did that, and he almost died. Yeah, that's right. This millionaire made a video about, oh, yeah, I'm going to start from the bottom and prove that anybody could get rich. And he did that experiment for like a month or two, and then he got so sick he almost died. You see, because it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. You know, it's easy in a mansion, in an air-conditioned building with $500,000 in the bank. It's easy to start a business and take on the risk and stress and eventually make it, right? But when you got to juggle survival, paying rent, going to a shit job, you know, living in a shitty area, you know, never getting to actually enjoy your life or have a vacation, it's just constantly working nonstop. You ain't got time for that shit, man. You see? But anyway, it says in verse 20, as the proud hate humility, right? Who's the proud? Esau, Edom, right? We just read it. right there. Notice how it says the proud. Now we go back to Malachi 4:1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, right? That's the same people that eating up the poor. Yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble or ashes. You see? And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And then we know that's talking about the Edomites, all right, pursuant to many different precepts, man. You can go into Revelation, Isaiah, you know, it talks about, you know, my sword shall come down upon Idumea, all right? The third part of men will be slain. We know the third part of men, that's the Edomites, because you got the sons of the wicked, the sons of God, and then you got the sons of men, right? The sons of God are the Israelites, which is us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the sons of God. And then you got the sons of men. That's these other nations, like the so-called Chinese, the so-called, what are those people? Ishmaelites, right? What are those called? The so-called Arabs, right? You know, the so-called Chinese, Japanese, so-called Africans, so-called, you know, East Indians. You know, all these other nations, those are the sons of men. And then we know the sons of the wicked is the Edomites, the so-called white man. All right, those are also known in the Bible as the proud. All right. So we go back here. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. Right, and the proud hate humility. Why? Because they're proud, right? Now let's go to Obadiah real quick. Obadiah 1 in the King James. And we know it's talking about the proud as Esau, because if we go here, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right, these other nations don't like Esau too much. All right, nobody likes Esau, man. All right, but they're small among the heathen, right? We won't get into that too much, but the point is in verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, right? The pride of thine heart, right? Who is the proud? Those who have pride, right? The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. What's the clefts of the rock? All right, those mountainous regions up there in Georgia, Russia. That's where Caucasians, they say Caucasians come from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. And if you go over there, there's a lot of cave systems, and it's up high, right? The clefts of the rock. So it's calling out you so-called Caucasians as the Edomites. It says, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? And that's how the so-called white man talks to this day. They think this society is going to last forever. They think that that they have invented everything, that they are the greatest race on the planet Earth. And that's why they have these all-white, so-called all-white communities popping up. You had one in Arkansas, and now it's moving to another area. I forgot where. I just made a video about it, but y'all can look it up because it's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. So, you know, it might have slipped my memory what town it was, but I know they started in Arkansas. Okay, and that's that pride, man. You know, Esau is the proud nation, the proud people. Okay, so when we go over here and we read how there's going to come a day when all the proud get destroyed, that's code for these Edomites, man. These so-called white people that rule the earth in pride and in wickedness, man. All right, who oppress the poor, right? Especially the poor of our people, right? Doesn't the scripture say that the kingdom is for the meek and the poor? Something along those lines. All right, let's go ahead and continue here. It says, as the proud hate humility, so doth the poor, the rich, Salakia. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends. Right, right, right. So if you're rich and you lose half your net worth, or you going through a scandal and you're in court, if you're rich enough, you're gonna be held up of your friends, man. Look at these celebrities, and not even talking about people like P. Diddy. We talking much higher than that. These higher up Edomites, man. Like Trump, he got accused of a bunch of crimes, and there he is, being the president of the United States, right? So, a rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends, right? You poor, now all your friends, they don't want to talk to you. They think you ain't shit. And that's when you need help the most, is when you're down and out. You don't need to get kicked in the face while you're down and out. But that's exactly what this devil Trump is doing to our people who are down and out. You see? Yeah, these scriptures don't miss, man. These scriptures do not miss. Look at this, verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him, right? They talking out of term. They saying things, they doing things illegally, and guess what? They still don't get in trouble. People still stand up for that devil. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place, right? You a poor man, you do what's right or what's wrong. It don't matter what you do. You still gonna get pushed aside. You know what I mean? You could be a poor person, do something very honorable, but you ain't shit compared to these rich people in this world. You see? Let me specify, in this world, right? In this world, Esau's world, you a poor man who does right, they just gonna be like, whatever, he's poor. See? Yeah, this world gotta go, man. Call hello Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, that this bitch-ass society is going down as we speak. All right? And we'll read one more. This is 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man hideth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Beautiful, self-explanatory truth. See? So yeah, man, that's what's going on right now. And it's almost over, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai is setting this place up for that final test and ultimately the destruction of this place and these devils. And with that, I pray this video was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom wa, abad babal. Shalom.